Right, we are back and up and running, but I may well have a problem with my stream chat now. That reboot in Virtual Pool 4's done something to my stream chat. It should be working on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's working on Twitch. It wasn't saying it was working on Twitch, but the room is up. The match has started between Larry and Frankel. And this is the rescheduled round 3 match, race to 150. And well, it's finally underway for the reasons I explained earlier. And Frankel's at the table. He's on a run of 9, so it looks like Larry was put into break. Now, anybody watching on Twitch, if the chat is broken, like I think it might be, I won't be able to see your chat. And hopefully it's still working on YouTube. If that's the case, then everybody should pile into YouTube. And if you just go to YouTube and type in 9ball.com, that'll take you to my channel. You're more than welcome to. So straight away there's not a great break ball here now. I don't know whether Frankel can nudge into that 3 ball. He looks as if he's drawn back for the 8. Nope. And he's trying to drop behind the 8 and get himself an angle. Well, that's ended up a bit straight. I don't know whether he can go forward and try and get into them. Yeah, that maybe needed a bit of more help in English, but he couldn't get enough power into the shot. But I think he's got one out. Has he got one out? He's got one, but he's not going to get much more. Let's see if my my link still works. Well, it doesn't work either. So a reminder, anybody who has stumbled across the stream on Twitch, my restream chat to Twitch might not be working. I do have a second channel up and running on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in 9ball.com, that should bring you to my channel. So Larry comes to the table. Frankel's run ends at 16. I'll double check at this thing. Well, it says here, restream, the chat is ready to display messages, so my assumption is it's working. Well, there's a good enough angle, I think, for him to try and send this cue ball onto something in the pack. Ah, right. Well, that's YouTube working okay. That confirms the YouTube chat's working. Thanks for that. I don't know whether there is anybody watching on Twitch, and if there is, and you can hear me, it would be handy if you could type something in the chat. Or even anybody that's actually watching on YouTube, if you just jumped over to Twitch and look for 9ball.com, maybe type something in that to see if I can see it. It would help to know if it's working okay. Always something goes wrong when a stream goes down or the server goes down and I have to restart. Yeah, YouTube chat confirmed it was working, but I couldn't get any from Twitch. But I think the problem is when you kill a stream on YouTube or Twitch, there is a delay. Like for example, if your PC has a problem and you have to reboot it, it gives you enough time to get back online and keep you and restart your stream. I think Twitch is a bit longer than YouTube's, so when I restarted the stream, I think Twitch was still catching up. So I don't know whether that chat is working. I suspect it might not be, which is why anybody who happens to be watching on Twitch, if you want to join in the chat, and if you want to talk to them that are watching on YouTube, then your chat will appear on stream. Good evening, Mark. But anyway, we'll worry about that another time. At least we've got the match underway. Frankel's now on a run of 7. And even at this stage in the match, we've got an early crisis here for Larry. So, say Larry's got to keep things tight. He really has to. Larry's 9-ball aggression is maybe have to be stifled sometimes in this straight pool, and he's certainly going to have to curb his enthusiasm already. Frankel's building up a healthy little lead, and the more that he scores, the more pressure that puts on Larry to actually respond to this. But that's where you then get maybe a bit too keen and a bit too desperate to get yourself into the match. But as I say, there's other ways to try and stifle your opponent. You just have to get a wee bit tactical, as they say. Well, that's now left an awkward one. Because the one thing Frankel will do, he's not going to get over ambitious. He's going to keep it tight. He can play the safe off the 5 and drop round behind the pack again if he wants. But if he cuts the 5, he's going to have to get that cue ball out for a shot in the 4. And he's got a shot, but it's not going to give him much joy. It's going to give him the extra point, but he's going to be down the bottom of the table here. It's a thin cut. Once again, a reminder, the thing you should be doing is always studying the pack. When it's not your turn at the table, you should always have a look around the pack and see if there's anything set. And this is where you have to be very careful. Picking out the thin safety here. Very, very easy to just nudge out a ball. And surely he's not looking at the combo. I mean, the combo's nowhere near set on that 15 ball, and that would be really aggressive. But he's looking to maybe just block that 4 ball by finishing somewhere round about here. Well, he's gone the other way. And that's pretty safe. Only a complete lunatic would go for that shot into that corner. And a lot of the times in straight pool, even when the pros play it, the safest place is in the pack with the cue ball. Because that's cut off an awful lot of routes for Larry here. Especially now the 4 ball's down the bottom half of the table. And there's a mistake. Larry didn't get enough pace in that. It's always a test of your touch to get that cue ball tucked in behind the pack. Now Frankel can run up the table here. He's going to have to run a fair wee bit though. Well, he's okay, he's on the 10. But there's nothing else here for him. He's going to just have to come up the table. Ideally, he would want to finish like there, and then he can run through and at least nudge something in the pack. And, well, that needed to run another 2 feet. Anywhere there where the donut is would have been ideal. So it's just an extra point if he wants it, and then a safety. But all the time, these little contributions are taking him further away. So already Larry is 32 points in the deficit. And once again, Frankel is trying to hide the cue ball, and this time he's made the mistake. But as I say, Larry's going to have to get an awful lot of meat into this shot. He's going to have to let that cue ball run. Maybe a little bit of help in English. I don't know whether he can just do the natural shot and nudge something. He certainly doesn't want to miss the 4 and then hit the pack. That would be a fatal mistake. He just needs to nudge something. Well, he's got one, but I think he's got too much of an angle here to do a lot with this 6 ball. You could play this with an awful lot of inside left English to try and check the cue ball off that end rail into the back of the pack, but the pack's fairly tight, so he'd be lucky to get something and get on it. But that's been really, really aggressive. He might even try going off this side rail that he's at, and then again he might be able to just land on that 9. Does the 9 go? Yes, it does. In fact, there's a combo on the 1 ball. The 3-1 is set for the middle pocket. Now he could go for that and open them up. He can also open them up this way. Well, this is a crucial shot already in this match. He's maybe had a glance at the combo, but he doesn't need to force this a lot. He just needs to drop it in and nudge something out. You don't need to slam it. He's missed the 1. And, well, now he's got major problems. Now, maybe in hindsight, he could have gone for the combo. That would have opened him. Hindsight is a great thing, though. And this is frustrating for Larry because he's trying desperately to get himself back into the match. And when you make those little mistakes and your opponent comes back in and gets another 8 or 9, it just keeps building up, and the pressure builds up to respond. He's just got to be patient. Still a race to 150, so there's a long way to go. So once again, we're at the point where we're looking to see where the break ball might be. There's a couple of choices. I think the one's encroaching into the... Well, that's already sat in there, so that's no good. That's going to go down onto the head spot. There's a break ball there if you can get close to the rail or play it from out there. And there's a break ball behind the triangle, so there's a couple of choices here. So another quick reminder, anybody watching on Twitch, the chat on my screen might not be working, so maybe it'd be better if you went to YouTube and watched the stream there. You can join in the chat if you've got any comments to make. Oh, that's ended up pretty nice. What's froze? What, your stream? Everything's looks as if it's working okay on my end. What's froze, Mark? Frankel on a run of 10. And the bad news for Larry is there's an awful lot of balls here for the picking. Oh, don't forget, you can change the quality of your stream in the bottom right hand corner. It should be running at 1080, 60 FPS. There's an awful lot of fast 9-ball brawl for all coming up the screen. And these balls are all sitting perfect. But it's all about the pattern. There's one problem ball, and that's the 3 ball up in the top left here. The reason I say that is it's just a blocker. It's a blocker for the 13. Unless you get that side where he is right now. He could also, now I don't know whether that's sitting in a good position for a break ball, not really. And he had a chance to get rid of it. He's still got a chance here. He's on the 3 and he can drop over to the rail here if he wants for that 12 ball. Oh, well, that was very risky. He's still on it, I think, but he's got the cut. That's probably his only option, but this is ending up a wee bit untidy. I mean, you start running a cue ball, you can run into trouble. He's lucky enough there's balls in the open. He'd be extremely unlucky not to land on one. So it's going to have to be the 14. Could finish up in the left-hand rail here if he wants. Well, he's gone a bit too far there to cut. He can cut the 7 from where he is. And well, again, he could run around the corner, if you know what I mean, off that left side rail, end rail, and over to the right. He's bound to be on the 11 ball if that's it. Well, he's playing it delicate for the one. Is that the 11 ball? Yes, it is. And that 11 ball, I don't think it's not encroaching into the triangle, so that can be a break ball. 5 ball won't count. And the 6 ball's a good choice, so there's good choices here. And that 6 ball going to have to go. He's dead straight, then possibly the 5. So the run is on 21. And that's pretty good. It's a bit deceptive being so close to the pack to read that potting angle. He's got it. And he's got balls out. And he's scratched. So the mistake has been made. And this is Larry's best opportunity to get something on the board. He's trailing by 51 points. And he has to respond. 3 and 4 balls here isn't any good. He's got to knock a chunk off that. he might be keen to try and do something off this 8 ball, but he could do it off the 5 as well. Remember what I said, it's about picking the balls that are in the open and not being overly keen to do something drastic early on. You make a mistake, you're opening these balls for Frankel, so he's got to be wise. And if you look as well, if you study what's going on here, the 3 ball is a good ball to pot if you're down here and nudge something out. Because obviously something has to go there. Now Larry's now sitting in a nice position to do that. Now's the time to just nudge something. But he doesn't want to end up in the bunch. He wants to come free of it. He could end up in the 5. So this is a crucial shot as well. You see how he's ended up in the bunch there, and he's now only got one choice here, and that's the 15 ball, and he's going to be queuing over. Well, he's looking at the combo here. That's a desperate option. It's got to be the 15. And again, he has to be careful. Watch he doesn't put any unwanted English on that cue ball. Very easy just to spin it offline from this angle. But he's good. And now he can pot the 5 and come up the left-hand side. If he comes up the left-hand side, he's going to have a choice of a couple of balls. The 1, the 2, and I think the 11 again in the middle. That's giving you choices. It's a bit like snooker. When you get 15 reds up here, you're always giving yourself a choice. You're just trying to land in an area. And Larry's fell short, but he's got the backup ball. And that's how you play snooker with all the reds on. When the reds are breaking out, you're really not playing in a specific red. You're playing just to get in an area to give you options. And straight pool ends up being very like that a lot of the time. So this is where you have to be sensible. And Larry's taking his time, which is the right thing to do. He needs to slow down a bit here. He can go out of shape badly. And this is a little tester. It's effectively into a blind pocket. He's having to pick the angle. And he's also got to remember about his next ball. So this is a pressure shot. And that's what happens. It's so easy to do. Larry played that shot, just knows the consequence of missing it. And whatever you say and how cool you want to think you are, that's what's going through your head when you're playing the shot. You know that there's consequences to be paid if you make that mistake. And Larry's run was only 7, I think, and that just isn't going to be good enough. That had to be a run of 20 odd or 30 at least to feel that he's going to be competitive in this match, because the next time he comes to the table, he could be looking at like a 70 odd point deficit. So the 7 and the 14 are tied up. They're doing nothing there unless you can drop behind them. Or can he cut that 14? Oh yes, he can get it, no problem. See what happens when you move the camera around. So 14 disappears. A run through and a decent angle in the 4. We'll give him the break. The worst thing about this break is running into the back of the pack. It's like in snooker again as well. If you run into the back of the pack, the chances are you're going to freeze on the pack and you're not going to do an awful lot of damage. And you have to clip a corner here if you can. And he's clipped the back corner. And that's worked out nice. He can roll the 11 in. And if he rolls through far enough after it, he'll be on either the 10 or the 15 or even the 13. He's got choices. The 9 into the right middle as well. Well, it's looking a bit grim here for Larry. Had his chance there to respond and just got himself that wee bit out of line. I keep going on about these pockets. As soon as you touch a jaw and you're rolling it at a slower pace, it's just gonna kick into the other jaw and hang up. Let's have a wee look at this pack. Well, from the way they are there, something is just going to have to be nudged. They're well split apart, so it's just a little brush to get something out. And that was a nice little shot. He's got the 8 ball. He's having a look at the 15. There's no problems there. The 15 certainly goes comfortably. The 10's a bit of a no-no. And he can brush onto the 10, finishing the 9. And he can use the 1 ball to nudge into these if he wants. That would be the pattern. Just drop the 9 in and get yourself a good angle on the 1. And then he might just run through for the 10 and get an angle as well. He's got 2 choices here how he plays this. And the 1, it could do with a wee bit more angle. He's just going to have to hit this firm. And that's what happens. So the missed call will be made. So Larry's in, and these balls are all sitting very nicely. And Frankel's run ends at 15, but it's still 15 more points on the board. So Larry's sitting here well behind. What is it, 59 behind. Well, if you're going to get a high run in the tournament, this would be a nice time to do it. And these balls are not sitting good for a break shot. That's the worrying thing that Larry's got in his immediate future, because there's nothing good for a break ball here at all. Only the 10 ball, and that's well away from the pack. Needs a little nudge here. And he's got that. Now, how's that 5 ball behind the triangle? Well, it's encroaching into the triangle, so I think that would be respotted. This is a crucial shot. Got to get good on this 10 ball. Has to have an angle that'll allow him to do something to get that cue ball into the pack. And he's ran far enough to pot the 10. This is not easy because he's going to have to maybe help this cue ball into that pack. As you're looking at the thin cut, now this is dangerous as well because he could run off and scratch. Oh, that's broke. Perfect. He's got a combo set as well. The 1 and the 3. If he gets desperate. But he's got enough there to be choosing. And for once, now the balls are looking very nice. And I think he wanted to get to the rail there. He fell short. He was playing for the 12 on the right hand rail. And now, well, let's have a look. It's going to have to be the thin cut in the 3. Could have played the 7. But if he gets rid of the 3, that's one of the problem balls gone. That's one of the blockers for that 1 ball. And the chances are he'll nudge on the 1. Oh, he's missed it. But he's now on the 12, so everything's still okay. He doesn't need to move anything else. He can get on the 9. He can get rid of the 1, so he doesn't have to run into any balls here. He doesn't need to do any of that stuff. Just needs to manage the cue ball. And this is a tester. Well, he's sort of spoilt for choice here. There's no really a right way and a wrong way here. He can drop onto the bottom rail for the 15, off the 7 if he wants. He can do the same off the 1. But at some point he's going to have to get up here to get rid of that 9 ball. Well, let's see how Larry's thinking, because he's now beginning to run out of balls to give him that option. Now the 9 ball goes past the 1. It's tightish, and if you don't get good on it, it's really difficult. So he's going to have to deal with that sooner rather than later. And that's going to be the problem with him keeping this run going. He has to deal with that. Well, that'll take care of the 1 ball. Now, does he want to risk drawing off this 1? Let's have a look at what sort of angle he's got. I don't even think that's worth the risk. Now, I think he can certainly... Well, I thought he could maybe cheat that too a wee bit to create an angle and come across for this 9. And that's what he's trying to do. I think he's just trying to get a shot in the 9 to get rid of it. Good evening, Simon. Simon, do me a quick favour, please. Could you go to my Twitch channel and just type something in the chat and let me know that you type something to see if it actually comes up on my screen, because I don't think it's working. If you could do that, please, it would just confirm that something's broken. It's working on YouTube, no problem, but there might be people on Twitch who are typing stuff and it isn't coming through. And I'll say this again, it's going to sound monotonous, but anybody who's watching on Twitch, if there is anybody there, please rejoin the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and type in 9ball.com. Ah, is that's Twitch working? That's good. That's fine. That confirms it. Thanks for that. So Twitch is working. That's excellent. So both chats are working. And meanwhile, Larry's at the table on a run of 19 and looking for a good angle on this 6-ball. He wants to sort of kill the cue ball not far past where the 14 is now, or he wants to get low on it to that top rail to give him the break. He looks as if he's killing it to give him the high angle on the 6. Wants to sort of kill it almost there. That's perfect. But it's the same problem again. He has to hit a corner here. He can't run into the middle of the pack. If he runs into the back of that pack, he could just lock up against it and be on nothing. This is another crucial shot to the run. I'll have a quick drink. Well, that's okay. I think he's okay. He's on the 1, I think. Now, again, he's got a little cluster there in the middle. He shouldn't even be paying any attention to that cluster. Not now, because he's got plenty of choices open in the table. He's got the 1, and he's doing the right thing. He's just taking his time rather than just rushing into potting balls. He's got to just plot his course here. So the deficit is down to 36. Now, is he going to risk drawing off that into them? He should still be on the 1. He might be able to stun off the end rail, come into the back of the pack and still be on the 1 as well. So he has an option here if he wants to take that risk. No. Just picking off what's there. Let's have another wee quick look here. There's nothing set. Nothing at all. So now he has to be thinking about the opportunity to nudge something there with the choices that he has left on the table in the open. Well, if he runs over towards this 13, which I think that's the 13, no, it's the 11, cue ball's going to end up over here. The worst thing that will happen is he'll end up on the 15. I think that's the choice. It has to be the 14 and just run over somewhere over here. He's got to end up on a ball, surely. He'd be unlucky to hook himself behind the 2. But if he nudges the 11, he should still have a shot in the 11. Well, he's nudged the 1, and that's fine. That's worked out okay. He's still looking good. And now he's got the angle on the 1. He doesn't need to be too aggressive. He just needs to catch the pack. And that's worked out pretty good. The 10 ball goes as long as you get rid of the 13. Now, what's he trying here? Oh, I can see the 7. I hope he's had a good look at that. A wee bit more angle on it than you think, just to miss that point of the jaw there. So he's looked at the 13, he's probably going to get rid of it next. And then he might even try and land on that 10 ball. If he misses a good shot in the 10, he's still got the backup ball. So now would be the right time to actually try and get rid of the 10. So you pot that one, pot the 13. Well, I don't know what he's doing here. Can he get that 10 from there? I think he can. I can see enough of it. And that opens up the remainder of the table. Right, good night, Matt. Take care. Thanks for watching. So the run goes to 30. Takes him to 39. Well, now that leaves the 13 ball as the break ball. That's sitting perfect for the break shot. There's your triangle there, and that 13 is very handily placed. Well, now he's further away from this 3 than he really wants. He might have to just dig into this, or he can run through and leave the 2 into that right middle pocket. That might actually afford him the best option of getting good on the 13, should he just run through for the 2. Let's have a look at what angle he's got here. So if he pots the 3 and runs through, he can pot the 2, leave himself an angle in the 13. Now, is he coming back? Hard to say what Larry's doing here, but it looks as if he's playing a stun here. Oh, that was risky. That was risky. He's still got a shot, but that's not what I would have played. I would have played the little run through. But his only problem here is he might be too far away from the 13. So he's got to play the shot to miss the 13, so it's off the end rail and side rail and out. And he couldn't have played that any better. That's perfect. And the 15's got in. Where's the cue ball ending up? Let's see what he's got. Well, he's got nothing. Not anywhere down this end. And he's got a reasonably straight 4-ish. A reasonably straightish 4, I should say. So he's back in business in this rack. Let's look at where the trouble lies. Well, if you pick the balls off, there's no trouble. It's about what ones you take to open up the spaces here. There's no combo set there. It's good cue ball management you need at this stage, just to get on that next ball. Now, yes, it is. Yes, there's the early stage of the match. Frankel just been picking, you know, short double figure runs, and this is Larry's first contribution to the match. But it's so vital because he was, you know, 59, at least 59 points behind, and he's on this run of 39, and this is what he needs to get himself back into this match. It was looking pretty gloomy early on here for Larry, but he's still got a lot of work to do. Now let's see what he's got here. Well, he could take the 2. That would open up these balls. He doesn't need to open them, he just needs to get on them. And he's doing the right thing. He's just picking off what's there. And now he can actually pot the 2 if he wants. He can play it a wee bit of top and left, and he can come out here. Now, if he doesn't get good on the 9, he's always got his emergency backup, the 5 ball. So he can go forward and around and get the cue ball out. Just got to judge the pace. But I think he wants to play for this 9 ball, because that then frees up the 1. And if he plays it really short, he could end up in the 7. So he's got 2 or 3 choices, and he's put too much juice into it. He might have played for these. I don't know. We'll have to believe he played for either of these 2 balls here. But I would have tried to get on the 9, because those 2 balls take care of themselves. It's easy to get down onto these 2 because you've always got the 5 ball. I would have done my best to get on the 9 there myself personally. But he still will have that choice off the 5 ball. He's got a bit too much angle on it for comfort's sake at the moment. And he needs a firm stun in this one to get that cue ball out into the table a bit more and straighten up the angle in the 5. And that'll do. Well, that's fine. He can go forward. He can go forward and come down this side. Anywhere near the middle pocket would be fine. He doesn't want to overdo this. He has to watch the pace. That'll do. It could have done with being up there though. It's just one of these wee blind pocket shots. And he has to get lucky. He has to get a good nudge in the 1. Because he's not going to have many choices here. He has to get lucky. He's got no idea where this 1 ball's going to end up. Oh well. It's ended up nothing. That's how it's so easy to get out of line. He needed that wee bit further travel up the table, and now it's a combo that's nowhere near on, and he's going to have to do well to make this. This will be a good shot. The actual 8-1 looks a lot easier to me. I don't know whether he's even looked at that. That looks a hell of a lot easier to make. But he's got it. How's his luck? Well, he's still got a shot. And the run goes to 47. And this is the vital shot in the rack. Well, there's 2 vital shots going up, but this is certainly the first one. Has to get a good angle in the 1. But he has to pot the 8 first of all. Pressure shot. And if that keeps going, the more it keeps going, the better angle he's got to break these balls. That's a bit straightish. He can certainly force it into the back of the pack here. He's odds on to hit a corner here if he gets this right. And the angle was always tough. He tried to draw into it. I don't know why he didn't go forward off the rail with English to just run into them. He would have at least hit the pack. But anyway, there's no damage done. And that's Larry's first contribution to the match, really. And the run ends at 49. But that's got him back into it. And that's it. It came at the right time. He definitely needed something to get him going. To get him, at least give him the feeling that he was in the match. And he's definitely in the match now. And we've got a combo here. It might be going to the jaw, but I'd be calling the combo. I think looking at it from here, it's going to the jaw. What's the distance between the two of them? Well, there's an inch distance between the two. So it's very easy to make it. Oh, it's went in clean. It's really only 1 point. And well, Larry is going to have to be careful here. Oh, that second nudge. Well, that's just tucked the 9 ball back in. So no safety now behind the pack with that 5 ball sitting there. And this is where your touch is going to be called into question. When you're feathering off those balls, you've got to be very, very careful. So easy just to nudge something out, and there's a mistake. Got that far too thick. And what's more, he's given Frankel an angle on the 5 to break out some of these balls. And that's, well, the mistake came a lot sooner than I thought it would. But it's come from Larry and all his good work. You might just see it trickling away, you never know. So there's a 10-point lead here for Frankel. And he's not got a lot of choices after this 11, so he might try and run into a couple of these as well. Or play the 2. Looks like he's playing the 2. Nothing else going there. And he's got a slight angle just to brush in. Oh, I think he's landed okay here. I think he's on the 9. On the, aye, it is the 9. So he's got the 9. And he's got the 10, and he's got the 7 to work with. He's even got the 3. But when you, this is the thing about watching a game of, you know, it doesn't matter what game it is in VP4, but it's when you're watching it with 2 good players who've got a fair idea of what they're doing, you can almost hear them thinking about what they're doing. and it's so much different from most of the players you actually watch playing games in Virtual Pool 4. A lot of guys who don't pay a lot of attention to what they're actually up to, and if only they did, they'd be 10 times the better player. That's the difference, really. That's what these guys are doing. They're using their head. So, where is the break ball this time? Well, the 8 ball could be a favourite behind the pack. He could try for something off the 6 ball. Well, the 8 ball's about to disappear by the looks of it. Well, we can see the 13 ball's no good because that's in the triangle, so that doesn't count. But his options again are getting very limited as to what will be the break ball, and if he doesn't do anything quickly, that's going to end up down in the break spot, and he'll have to work a pretty good shot to get a break. Well, it looks as if the 6 ball's the favourite now. I mean, I don't know whether it'd be any good if he got close to the rail. He's got to probably leave the cue ball out in the table and create the angle that way, surely. Yeah. So the thin cut, well, he's finished in the triangle. That's probably better because it's now giving him ball in hand in the kitchen. Now, can he work this cue ball around the angles, or are he drawing straight in it? He's drawing straight in. How's his luck? Well, at least he's got a shot. If he takes that 3 ball, he's not going to have an awful lot of choices with where the cue ball's going to finish. Well, he has to watch himself with this shot. If he cuts it thin, he's going to come down and up. But even then, there's a certain area he's going to get into. He's taking the risk. You see what I mean about picking the right shot, and he's picked a shot there where he's now got himself in trouble. An extremely tough shot in the 5. I mean, that is a pot into the middle pocket. It's nigh on impossible. It's so tight. And it's not going long either. So he's looking just to tuck the cue ball into the bunch. Play the safety. And Larry, this shot, he's got to be careful because that 14 ball is on. So he needs to watch the cue ball, and he's tucked it away nicely. But has he left a shot for Frankel here? That 12 ball will go. Now, just keep your eye on the tip of the cue. Now you see, he's actually putting English on that cue ball there. And it's going to the jaw. Oh, it's dropped in. He just moved the tip of the cue there. I don't know whether he did it inadvertently or he did it deliberately. But it's gone in. And at Larry's hard work, looks as if it's going down the pan, because Frankel has the opportunity to pull away again, and already he's moved on to 84. Larry's sitting on 59, so 26 points the difference now, and an opportunity to nudge into these balls off the 1. Well, that could have finished better. Surely he's not ended up in nothing. I mean, that he can pot the 2. That is tough because he's right over the 15. He's got an awkward shot in the 4, and it looks like that might be his only real choice. He could cut the 10, and that isn't easy, so this is really tough. It's ended up really ugly, and good luck to you, because I certainly wouldn't fancy the shot. A nice little cut. He doesn't want the 14 ball to block the 13. If he plays the 8, he can just brush through off the 14. What's he looking at here? 4 ball doesn't give you much on that side unless you run straight through for the 13. Well, he's playing it high. He's running out of choices now. He's got to try and really play for this 8, I think. Well, he's trying to brush them out. Well, he's won a watch there. He's set up the 7-8 combo. That's perfect. I presume he's already looked at it. That's pretty much dead set. In fact, he's even got a choice here. If he just runs through, he can use the 14 to probably break open the 8 and the 7 if he wanted to, but he doesn't need to. He's probably looking at the combo now, having a quick look at it, and looking at the 10 to get rid of it. Well, let's see what he does. He can just roll through and take the 10 and pretty much be reassured that he's got a set combo here. And he's got a nice angle in the 10, just enough. If he, let's have a look. Well, he's leaving it because he's dropped behind the 7 and 8, but he's now got very limited choices because the 7 is on the point of the triangle. Let's have a look. Now, is that 7 going to come down onto the spot? I don't think it is. I think it's dead sitting there. So that's why he's getting rid of it. Well, I think he tried to leave the cue ball in the triangle and it hasn't worked. Let's have a look. Yep, he's fallen short by an inch. And that's why he's ended up there. He was relying on getting in a triangle to give him ball in hand in the kitchen, so he could play that 10 ball to get the split. So that's ended Frankel's run at 12, but he's now sitting on 94. Larry in 59. And don't forget, Larry made the mistake that gave Frankel the chance to extend his lead. Now, what did they call there? Did they call the bank or the cut down into this pocket? I wasn't even paying attention, even though it was on screen. Oh, that's a good shot. How's it finished, though? Well, this is all your eggs in one basket, this one ball. Well, this is going to do a lot of damage. A lot riding on this shot. he's overcut it. Oh, I think he's maybe got away with it. He's maybe got, no he hasn't. Aye, he has. Does that 15 go? That 15 goes every day of the week. It's tight, but it does go. And so does a 7. I thought he'd get away with it there. Oh, it's just crept in. I thought it was just going to the point, but that was a good shot from a tight angle. And I'm afraid this is going exactly the way the early stage of the match went. Frankel's now got a 35-point lead, but it's at the wrong end of the scoreboard for Larry's sake. So just 54 more balls needed to take Frankel through to round 4. Well, risky, but he has the backup ball, and he's also, of course, now got a good angle to get the cue ball across the table to the right hand side and give him a shot on that 8 or the 15. Well, this is certainly going to move a couple of balls, but he needs that luck to get on something, and this is always risky. And he's just overcooked that slightly. Well, this definitely is going to move something. Oh dear. Well, he's okay. He's still got the 6. But the only other option I think is a little roll through for the 3. These balls are, from where he's sitting, everything's just a wee bit awkward. You've got the 1 and the 2 not in a great position, although the 1 might be cuttable from here. And he might take that opportunity now, because he's not going to get any better position to play that 1 ball. He's looking at it. So he just needs to finish sort of there to give him at least a decent sight on the 1 to make the cut. The closer he goes that way, the more awkward it becomes. And that's perfect. Quick look at the 9 ball. The 9 ball's out of the triangle, so that's a good break ball. The 14's not so good because it's at the back of the pack. So that's his break ball. Oh, well, that's gone wrong. But he's still okay. He's nudged it over to the opposite side and he's still got the break. Well, I doubt very much he played that. It's an extremely thin cut in the 4. And this is a toughie. And Larry should be sitting poised, ready to pounce. because there's a strong chance he's going to be left a break shot if Frankel undercuts or overcuts this. And in it goes. And that is probably ideal, just to nudge into the pack. But he wants to get away from the pack. Well, what's he got? Oh, he's got the shot. Shot in the 13. He now goes to 108. And Larry sitting back there on 60. And I'll be back in a wee second. I'm just going to go and switch the heating off. I'm absolutely boiling. Right, we are back. So the run is now at 16, 110 and 40 points left to go. So we've got a little bit of a mess on the right hand rail. But if you get nice on that 10 ball, and he's got an option now to play it, he can just nudge into the 5, open that problem up. Well, he's going to leave it to later on. Let's see. Ideally, you want to be around about there, just to nudge the 5 ball and get it out into the table, free up the 8 ball. I mean, the 8 and the 5 are a combo from this rail, but he's got to be planning ahead. It looks like it's going to be the 10 ball now. I don't know whether that's the best angle for it. Can he clip that 5? And that's all he needed to do. And he's still got the 2 ball. So things are just ticking along nicely. The run goes to 21. Going to get rid of the 1. Now that he's got a potting angle in it. And that's all the problem balls are now dealt with. It's just about finding a break ball. Well, I say all the problem balls dealt with. If we look at the 4, the 4's fine from here. So you could take the 5 and take the 4, or you could take the the 3, and leave a higher cut in the 11. That's a bit more awkward. That's more troublesome doing that. He could be going forward and across. No. Little stun. I don't know whether he played for the 11 there. If he did, he's just gone too far. And now he's left himself perfect in the 5 to get rid of the 4 and then drop nicely on the 11 with an angle to get into the pack. So this is the vital one. The run's in 26. He needs 30 more. Is that enough angle? He's going to have to hit this firm, get the amp on. And it's into the back of the pack, but looking to get a corner. He's went right into the back of the pack, but he's okay. He's certainly got one shot, which is going to open everything up. But he's not got a heck of a lot more choices. And that's worked out nicely. Well, the 7 has gone to the side rail, but there's no damage done there because the 13 goes. There's no problem there. It's just getting in behind him. So he doesn't need to worry about them just now. The 1 ball's the issue. It's tight in the right hand rail. So now he's on it. He might as well get rid of it. Well, that's a wee bit clumsy. He's now left himself. He's still got a clean shot in the 2. Could be the 2, could be the 14, could even be the 10. Well, perfect opportunity for the 1 ball, but if you pot the 1, you've got to work the cue ball a wee bit. I think he's going to maybe come back a wee tad for the 6, and that's nice. This is a delicate little shot. I don't know whether he wants to just drop right in behind that 7. Or he could go forward, nudge the 7, and more than likely still be on the 8 ball here. Well, he's played the stun. Now, I don't know whether that... I presume that was a stun to get to the rail. He's twitching his cue, and I presume that's what he played. And he didn't get there. He wanted to be pretty much straight on that to make it comfortable, because his next ball was easy anyway. So this is just going out of line a wee bit. The run now goes to 39, and his total goes to 133, and his break ball is about to disappear. That's the perfect ball for the break, that 8 ball, but he's got no other option. He could thin cut the 10 into the middle, but he's then got the cue ball running all over the place. So now, well, he's got two ways of doing this. He could draw back and leave an angle in the right hand middle pocket on the 10 to try and break into the pack. He could go forward and try and draw back into the pack. So he's playing for the angle. I think he's gone too straight. He's actually, in fact, he's the wrong side. So this would be a lot of power and a lot of angle and a lot of distance to even get a touch in that pack from that angle. So Frankel's deciding, take what he's got and play the safety. And the run ends at 42, but that is the vital contribution in the match. And Larry's got too much of a hill to climb, I think. Well, he's played that a bit heavier, and he's left Larry not a lot. Now, if Larry's getting really desperate here and goes for the cut in this could be his last shot in the match. This is very, very difficult. Oh, he's got it. Well, that was brave. It was brave. And he's still got a shot. But he's going to need to do... Well, he's going to need to beat his high run that he made earlier on in the match to get himself back in it. Because he's even further behind now than what he was early on in the match. So it's a big mountain to climb. I think he's too heavy. Yeah. Too much juice on it. Well, he's got a thin cut on this 6, and the cue ball is certainly going to run into the pack. And this is one of these situations where you don't want to feel forced into do it, and he's gone for it. And the run ends at 3. I mean, the safety option was there, and a wee bit more patience. But because he finished where he ended up, I think he just felt he needed to go for it. So it was all or nothing in that one shot. And all these balls are sitting here for Frankel now. So Frankel on 137, and he's just needing another 13. Well, the only sort of good news for Larry is that at least Frankel still needs to break the next rack to score enough points to win, I think. I don't think there's enough in the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, there isn't, so he's still got to get a break shot on the next rack to win the match. Well, the question is, who in this tourney is going to be good enough and big enough to face up to Frankel? Because the way it's looking at the moment, he's already got the highest run in the tournament. It's going to take someone playing a good game to cause him problems. Well, there's a break shot off the 8, there's a break shot off the 1. The 1's now gone, so ideally he wants to be about there. Well, he's finished a wee bit shorter, but he'll still be running into the pack. So, needs 4 more balls, and that's ended up. He's landed in nothing here. If he's going to pot the 11, he's going to have to bend it, and he's got a thin cut back in the 10. So it looks as if it's the ball. He'll just be running in. He might be brushing straight into the 6. He doesn't want to do that because that'll not leave him in anything. And he's missed it. He's held the pack onto the 6. And I think he's frozen against the 7. He's dead and buried in there. Well, Larry, right now, has got a lifeline. But he might not have much of a shot here. Well, Frankel is deciding to play the combo. Just needing 2 more balls and deciding that this is worth the risk. Is it going to get there? Oh, that's beautiful. That was well judged. And pocket weight. So the 6 ball to take Frankel through to round 4, and we'll have a quick look at the bracket before I go to bed. But before I do, thanks to those that are still watching, and well, if I don't see you for the next match, whenever that might be, there is a match tomorrow which hopefully I'll get some of, but I will bid you a Merry Christmas. And well, as I say, Frankel, he's comfortably won that match, 150 points to 63, and it's going to take somebody good to even give him a match. And Larry fell well short of the mark, but he's still going to have a second go. He's got the 1 loss side, and Larry will be, well, it just depends who he bumps into in the 1 loss side, but he should be a strong favourite to still survive a good way into the 1 loss side. Let's have a look at the bracket. Right. Where the hell is it? That's what we're looking for. And we'll see how that shapes up with the tourney. So Frankel is now through. Now who's he waiting on? Oh, well, there's a potential lineup with semi-pro or Vinces, and that's a good match whenever that's going to be, but the winner of that match will be Frankel's next opponent. So the way it is in these these two matches, Frankel's doing it the hard way. He's going to end up playing. He's already played one of the strongest players in the tournament, but he's going to be either playing one or another in the next one. And the match tomorrow, oh, this bracket does my head in. The match tomorrow starts at 2:30 GMT my time. Sorry, not 2:30. It is 2:30. Is that a 2:30 or a 2:10? 2:30. And as I say, I probably won't be home in time to get the start of it, but I will do as best I can to get home and to get Romario's next match against Acero, who I believe is a Japanese player, and I think he's fairly capable. So it should be a good match as well. So hopefully I'll get some of that match tomorrow. So until then, until we meet again, I will bid you good night and say thanks for your company if you're still here, if you're not bored to death and going to bed. And I will see you again sometime. See you later.